Hi, it's me, that crazy Kate. And today I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about attention seekers. And I just wanted to preface by saying that I don't really like attention. I'm not one of those people that likes to be under the microscope and likes to be gaped at when I'm talking and, studied and this kind of thing. It really kind of gives me anxiety. It makes me really uncomfortable. And I have to tell you that in my job, I basically have to public speak for a living. And it's not like 8 hours a day or anything like that. But even that little bit of talking that I do is so traumatic for me. It's like I feel like I'm sweating and my face is red and my skin gets all blotchy and I'm like, oh, did I say that right? Are they looking at me? And of course everyone's respectful, so they turn towards me, give me attention. And I'm like, oh my God, they're all looking at me and whatever. So it's really stressful. There is this one girl I know, and she's really, really bright. She's really smart. And she's actually really good at her job. She's really resourceful and she's really educated, and she knows a lot about like the local resources. She's just a wealth of knowledge. And she has this habit of kind of like she'll tell the same story over and over again. And it could be the same six people in the room every day. And she'll continue to tell the same story, even if like some of us were there when the original event happened. And in the beginning, when I didn't really know her that well, I would kind of chime in and, be like, oh, yeah, that was funny or whatever, just to kind of like interact in the conversation. And I noticed that she would kind of acknowledge me and then, she would like move along. So what I started to learn was that she doesn't really like that because it's like someone's stealing the show from her. And the other thing that she likes to do is she likes to remind everybody that she's a huge liberal, which no judgment, but she's a huge liberal and she'll throw it out there like daily, like, oh, well, I'm going to do A, B, and C because, I'm the liberal and blah, 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 blah. Like, we don't already know. You say it every single day. Like, we get it. Okay, we get it. You hate Trump. I've grasped that. And she's nice, but it's like frustrating because it seems kind of like she has a word limit that she's got to hit every day. Seriously. And then there's this other guy that I know that kind of is the same way, but it's more like, it's more forced on you. Like this girl is just kind of, that's just kind of how her personality is. She just kind of flows like that. But with him, it's like, he forces his opinion down your throat. And it's like, he's the only one that knows anything. And, you don't know anything and your opinion is kind of unimportant because basically he's there and he's all that matters. And a couple times, like, we've had arguments, especially about domestic violence, we've had arguments because, he's educated and he's got experience and he's older than me and whatever, but it's like, I get kind of frustrated because we'll disagree on things like regarding domestic violence. And it's like, again, he'll shove this stuff down my throat and I'm like, okay, whatever. I get it. You know everything. Moving on. One of the things that, aside from people like that who dominate the conversation and just like, take up all the attention in the room, something else that I've really noticed about the world that we live in is people take to social media to just, go on tangents about like, well, look at me, I'm doing it right now. But, it'll be like passive aggressive, like, my day's so bad or okay, like you have a fight with your best friend or your former best friend or whatever. And it's like, instead of addressing the issue with the person that's involved in it with you, you're going to take to social media and have like a public meltdown and like, just like kind of post something to get the attention of another person. So it's like, instead of just addressing it like an adult, you're going to post something that they're going to see, but they're not going to comment on because you just want them to know that or that you want them to know that you're mad, but you're not going to say it. It's ridiculous. I mean, and that's 2017. I mean, that's just like the world that we live in. It's like, if it didn't happen on Facebook, it didn't happen, and sorry, I had to write things down so I didn't forget. And like I said, I'm not innocent of that, especially when I was younger. Oh my God. When I was younger, I was dating this guy that was terrible, terribly abusive, big cheater, huge liar. Not a good person. And he was cheating on me with this girl who I villainized, but it wasn't really her. It was just I needed someone to blame. And instead of blaming my asshole boyfriend, I was blaming her. And I remember I really opened myself up to her. Like, I would really post everything in my life that was going on, kind of to brag, kind of to be like, oh, haha, like, he's my boyfriend. And we're at the bowling alley or whatever because we were I was under 21, so we couldn't do anything fun. And then it would, like, get flipped on me, and she would not attack me, but she would kind of use that as ammo against me. And I would just get so mad. And then it would be like the next time I'd be like, like, for example, once I got a tattoo. And, like, the first thing I did when I got my tattoo was I took a picture and posted it on MySpace because, like, I wanted her to be jealous because, like, she wanted a tattoo and she wasn't old enough to get one, and I was. And I wanted her to know that I got one. It's so ridiculous. Like, it even matters. And now she's got, like, 6 and I have 1. But, as I've gotten older, I've kind of grown to, obviously I've mended that relationship with her because we both realized that we weren't mad at each other. We were mad at him, and we were taking out on each other because we were both fooled by him. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that it's just kind of childish. Like, sure, like, when I was having problems with Frontier Wireless or whatever they're called, I was, like, tweeting them endlessly because I wanted them to know that I was upset, and I was hoping that I would get some kind of response from them, which actually did work, by the way, in my defense. But when it comes to, like, actual relationships with people that I speak to, I try not to, like, take to social media because it's just kind of ridiculous, like, you sit a cubicle away from the person. Why don't you just tell them? Why don't you just tell them how you're feeling? Why are you going to tweet about it? Or why are you going to post a passive-aggressive Facebook status that they know is about them? And, they realize that you're just, like, not going to come to them about it. So you're the one who looks like the idiot. It's taken time, because I'm a millennial. But I've learned, like, that's not the way to go through life. And just on that subject, kind of, one of my biggest pet peeves is when you see that a lot on social media, or you kind of engage with people who are just so negative all the time. And it's, like, taxing. It is so exhausting. Because, like, for example, you get on the phone with somebody and you're like, hey, so-and-so, how was your day? And they're like, oh my gosh, like, let me tell you about my day. Like, it was the worst. Like, whatever, bad thing happened. And then I got in my car, and my car got a flat, and then I was late to work. And it's just like, okay, I'm miserable now. So thanks for that. I'm going to go ahead and just get off the phone because now I hate my life. But whatever. And I know, like, it's something that I've kind of always worked on. Like, I've never really been a really negative person, per se. But it's something that I am continually working on, especially with the baby coming and stuff. But even before that, it's like I've just always really focused on being positive and being, trying to be happy. And not that you have to try to be happy, but I mean, just not letting stuff bother you and, letting stuff go and just, moving on from it and not really holding on to things, unless it's something like this where I can use it to speak out to other people and, hopefully spread a good word. But it's like I'm not going to hold on to things that don't even matter anymore. Like, I'm hurting myself. Like, I'm killing myself. I'm making myself more anxious, And, on that note, I was thinking the other day, and this is kind of random that it all kind of happened this week when I was posting this blog about this exact topic. But I was thinking the other day, I saw all this stuff on Twitter about Betty White and how she's 95, and it was just all these things. It was like, I saw this thing that was like, 16 things on BuzzFeed, like 16 things you never knew about Betty White or something like that. I don't know. Or whatever. And I was thinking to myself, like, that lady is the coolest lady. She's got the best attitude. I mean, she's radiant. Like, she just, like, is full of sunshine and energy. And I'm like, I'm not even that pleasant to be around. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not even that pleasant to be around. And I'm 30. I mean, this woman has probably like seen things that were traumatic, or even like, you know, like Kennedy getting shot. I mean, even things that weren't affecting her. Like, she's seen a lot because she's been alive a long time. And it's like, she is just like the coolest woman. And why do people like her? Because she's funny and she's sassy and she has a good attitude and she's always smiling and she's always, you know, saying something positive, like she's friends with everybody. There's no like celebrity feuds. There's no like whatever, she's just like this awesome person. And I was thinking, there's a reason that people like her. There's a reason that everybody thinks she's awesome. Like, you could find like anybody on the street and they'd be like, Betty White is the shit. Like, she's awesome. And something else that I was thinking about, just to add to that, is one of my friends from Victoria's Secret, when I would be really frustrated sometimes, like retail can be frustrating and people are rude to you and, it can just be, you got to really rise above it in retail. And she would say to me, mind over matter, Kathleen, mind over matter, mind over matter, mind over matter, like over and over again. And for a while I was like, dude, like, I get it. But now I'm like, I do get it. Like, it is mind over matter. It's like, you know what? Today sucked, but I'm still healthy. I still got a nice house. I got a great dog. I got a cool husband. Like, I'm eating dinner instead of like shivering and starving. You know what? You're right. Mind over matter. Life is good. Da 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 da. So basically, long-winded story short, I just wanted to say that, it's okay to go on like a Facebook bender and, whine about your life. But, just try to stay positive, because that negative stuff can be really contagious and can just like make you feel worse. Like, how people say when you're tired, everything seems worse. It's like that. It's kind of like, if you're negative, you're going to make everyone else like that. And it's going to seem like your problems are just like mountains instead of like nothing. So, I hope that reaches some of you, and I hope you're able to find the positivity in whatever you do. And I hope you have a great evening.